What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Let's get right into it. Here today to answer another NFL mailbag question. So let's get right into it. This question comes right after the Commanders cut Carson Wentz, which I predicted, by the way, which was kind of an easy prediction. A guy like him who would save organization 26 million, for sure he's gonna get cut. So that was a layup. But if you want to check out my part one and part two of my cap casualties for the NFL offseason this offseason, I've got a bunch right so far. I got Taylor Lewan from the Titans. I got Carson Wentz. I got Robert Woods from the Titans. Maybe one or two more. Byron Jones. He was in part two. He might retire. I'm not sure. I seen reports say he might retire. I seen reports say he not. I'm not sure. But if he doesn't retire, he's gonna get cut. He said the Dolphins about 12, 13 million. But on the topic of the video, the question was, should the Tampa Bay Buccaneers look to sign Carson Wentz? Now, kind of a tricky question, but not really though. Looking at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers roster, their roster is gonna heavily, be hit by free agency. You got a lot of guys: Julio, Scotty Miller, Brashad Perriman, Josh Wells, lineman, right tackle, Kyle Rudolph, who they brought in later during the year, Giovanni Bernard, older running back, not really a big deal. William Golston, Akeem Hicks, Levante David, Jamil Dean, Mike Edwards, Logan Ryan, Keanu Neal, Sean Murphy Bunting. It's going to be a lot of guys. A lot of guys are going to be leaving, and they're also low on cap space. We all know that hit Tom Brady retired. They're still going to be hit with that 30-some million, 40 million, whatever cap hit, unless they can bring it back, push it back to another year or so. But the rumor is they might just go ahead and take it, eat it now, then don't worry about it later. I think the Buccaneers are prime candidates to be sellers at next year's this upcoming NFL trade deadline. I think a guy like Chris Godwin, a guy like Mike Evans could and maybe will be dealt at the NFL trade deadline, but it's jumping ahead way too far. That's in November. So all signs pointing and coming from Tampa Bay Buccaneers are that Kyle Trask will be the star of this season, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I did a video last year. I predicted Tom Brady would retire last year. I was right for like 2 weeks. I put that video out like a month before he retired. And I was right for about 2 weeks, but he came back, whatever. But I did a video saying I think the Bucs should trust Kyle Trask last season. That was prior to Brady coming back, but I thought it was a good move. I like Trask from Florida. Pretty good a pretty good 3-4 years there. Had some nice weapons. He had Tony, he had Pitts, solid offensive line. I think he had the same thing there. I'm not sure what the Bucs will be doing this offseason with their least amount of cap space. They're in the negatives as of right now. I think Fournette could be cut also. Another name to throw out there. Fournette could be cut. His cap hit is about $10 million. They could save about that much, somewhere around that range, $8 to $10 million, if they cut him, if I'm not mistaken. But on the Carson Wentz, why should they sign Wentz? I think it'd be a good fit. Kyle Trask. Also, the rumor coming out of Tampa Bay is he's not really a quick study. He's been behind Brady for a couple years now, and he hasn't really caught on quite yet. He doesn't really feel comfortable in the offense. We all know Byron Leftwich just got let go, and there'll be a new scheme, a new system most likely coming to the Buccaneers. And I think Carson Wentz would be a good way to go, honestly. Veteran guy. Didn't play well last year, honestly, at all. But I did like him with the Colts. I really did. A lot of people say he was iffy with the Colts. I thought he was pretty good. Ran the RPO pretty well. The only thing about Wentz that really scares me is his injury. He's careless. He's balls to the wall. He doesn't protect his body as much as he should. That's the only thing that really scares me. But if Wentz had no injury concerns, honestly, I would love to have him on my team. I'm a Falcons fan. I would love to have him as a nice backup veteran pushing Ritter. But as of right now, I don't think he's in our plans. But I would love him to go to our division rival Bucs. And I think he could do something. He got weapons. decent O-line, and we all know last year, this past season, Tom Brady got hit heavily with injuries to offensive line. So, that did cause some disruption, some bad play from the whole entire team. With the offensive line being down, and they were hit injury. They were hit early with injury, like super early in the off season, and it kept going on doing throughout the season. So, I think a team like the Bucs will be a great fit. They got talent, you know, and I think it'll be on a half season basis. If Wentz does beat out Trask, which is definitely possible. Wentz is a former. Well, he didn't win the award, but he's a former MVP. I consider him MVP. I forgot who won it the year Wentz should have won it, but Wentz should have had that MVP title. He really should have. So I give it to him personally. He was fantastic, phenomenal during that season. He's a former MVP caliber player. Hasn't really reached that level since, but I think he's been solid since. As I said, with the Colts, he's been pretty solid in my personal opinion. He wasn't great, but he wasn't terrible. Um, I think he could bring some good stuff to the Bucs. Bring back a good old line. He has weapons. Rely on the run game. Honestly, the defense is where it's going to fall off at. I'm not sure what defense will be at. Multiple corners are free agents. Multiple safeties are free agents. Multiple defensive pass rushers are free agents. They're going to be hit hard. So just to keep float, just to stay relevant, I think the Bucs might have to sign a guy like Carson Wentz. Jimmy G, too much. That was a thought of mine earlier. But as of right now, it's stated that he wants starter money, and he wants about 20 plus, 30 plus million. I think you can kind of get Wentz for 10 million. Same, I look at him the same as Trubisky and Mariota from last season. My Falcons got Mariota for about 12 million per season. He's going to be cut this offseason, so we're going to save 12 million. And Trubisky, I think, got around 8 to 10 for the Steelers for a 2-year deal. So I think there'll be a similar move for Carson Wentz, 1 or 2-year deal, 8 to 12 million. And I think the Bucs should be one of the prime teams to look at him. If not the Bucs, maybe the Saints. If not the Saints, maybe the Panthers. So I do think Wentz will come to our division, honestly, just not my Falcons. And I wouldn't mind it if we had a starter in place. But no, Ritter, I really think, depending on how the draft goes, I really think that we could trade up and get Bryce Young if he drops past pick 3, which is possible now, with the Anthony Richardson buzz going on. So I don't know. I think Ritter is a good way to go. For the Bucs. If not Wentz, maybe Baker Mayfield. That's another option also. But I do think Wentz will be a higher end backup in today's NFL, honestly, and he's a good player. He's a good player, man. Or he's a good talent, not a good player. But I would feel a lot more comfortable about him if he just learns how to protect his body and protect himself. He goes ball to the wall so much where he kind of put himself in harm, danger a whole lot. So, that's one main thing that kind of scares me about Wentz. But just as far as backups goes, as far as experience and talent and skill, Wentz is one of the better ones. So you will love to have him. We just saw Chad Henne retire from the Kansas City Chiefs. Could he go back up Mahomes for a year? You never know. You never know. But as of right now, I do like the Bucs as one of the premier landing spots. Probably somewhere in the NFC South, but it will make me pick. I would say the Bucs or the Panthers. It depends on what Frank Wright wants to do as starting quarterback. But to have a guy like Wentz who ran his system a couple years back does make sense. So somewhere in the NFC South, I believe will be home for Carson Wentz. Just depends on what team. But as of right now, I would pick the Bucs or the Panthers, with the Panthers being number 1 most likely. But that's it for video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.